All right, so we arrived at the homie's palace. Yo. Wow.
She's back in action.
Look at that. Bro, there's nothing graceless about this.
This thing's a piece of shit.
Lies.
Nah, that is.
Oh, it's clean.
No way.
Not perfect.
Don't look at the passenger side. That's the bad side.
Bro, I love it.
She's good though. She's a driver. You know, I don't worry about it as much.
Bro, you gotta tell me more about this car one of these days.
LS2, cam, heads. You know, it's basically like a full bolt-on 6.0 aluminum. Higher revving, you know, like maybe like 72, 7300, which is like most people like keep it below 7. Makes like 450 wheel, or it will. I mean, it really hasn't yet. The old setup made like 430 wheels, so this should make like 450, maybe even more than that, and then 100 shot on top.
So that's designed strictly for the shop, would you say, or is that like, would that be like a high compression all motor setup?
No, great all motor setup. You just add the nitrous. It's big displacement. It really likes it. You know, like it's with 100 shot with a LS, you really do pick up about 100 wheel horsepower. You know what I mean? If it's got, you know, proper headers and everything like that, that shit like makes a big difference. Usually, like, you know, you spray a Honda, it's like 100 shot gets you like maybe 50 wheel, 60 wheel, you know, but when it's 5.7 liters, 6 liters, 6.2 liters, you know, you really do get that, if not more in some cases. So it was a single dry shot, because I got, which is like weird, like most people don't do that.
They do
but
wet
my
ones.
buddy, they do wet, so they spray fuel with the nitrous, you know what I mean? So it's like your injectors just do the same thing the whole time. Well, the Holly, which is really nice, it's like this $1,000, it used to be $1,000, man, maybe it's like $1,500 now, but wiring harness standalone, not a real standalone, but a pretty decent one for like $1,000 with the wiring harness and like a bunch of sensors. Like,
that's crazy.
Like unbeatable screen, everything. Like,
and we're here spending like thousands of dollars, mind you. Motec this, EMU this, that, dashes, and then you're telling me that this is the simple version of it all.
Yeah, it's different, you know. The chassis is really good, you know. I mean, I love rotaries, I really do. You know, I just stumbled upon this car. I almost bought an MK4 Supra. I literally had the money out to buy it, and the kid fucking backed out like last minute. So I like went online, found this.
I remember.
And just like went and bought it.
I remember.
It had these ugly ass wheels. The body was actually in better condition. Some lady sideswiped me, but I mean, it's not mint. It was the guy's shittiest car for sure. But it had a lot of problems on it. And the 5.7 that came with it, I did a cam and got ported heads and all that stuff. And I went with too long of a push rod and wound up like wearing out. I didn't really know what happened. I wound up figuring it out over time, but wore out my trunnions and like valve floated the fuck out of it. But it lasted like 4 years and like 50 bottles of nitrous, 40 bottles of nitrous, and you know, tons of hits, track like 15, 20 times, driving to and from the track, taking it to Maryland, taking it to, you know, a lot of different places.
I remember my invites for
straight driver, like straight
Jersey.
driver, beating the fucking life out of this thing. Like,
I remember the invites for
long.
the Jersey meet you're telling me about.
Yeah, and J2K, raced with a lot of fast cars. I mean, you know, from a pole, it's definitely faster than the 10.5. You know, I had the mile an hour for like a high 9, you know, maybe a mid 9. It's like 137. And I got a 1.8 60 foot. No cage and stuff. So, you know, my goal this season is just to go 9.9 one time and kick that ACO. And then I'm going to paint the car and like try and like just chill and like keep it together.
So now you got new heads. So on top of the new heads though, did you get you had an issue with the
right now I got a fuel issue. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna check my filter tomorrow.
And you changed the injector seal, or
no. Oh yeah, I already did all that. Yeah. Well, with the fast intake, there's these like special thicker. They look identical, but they're like maybe like, you know, a millimeter or two thicker, because the holes, I guess, on this one are slightly different than an OEM GM one. And it was the weirdest fuel leak I've ever had, where it wasn't coming out of the rails, like literally coming out of the fucking injector at the intake manifold, and like just spraying upward. Like it was real weird, and it would only happen at fucking like higher RPM. You know what I mean?
So how'd you end up finding that?
It was wet under there. Like right after I did a pull, I pulled over because I smelt it, and I popped the hood and I saw it wet, and like where it was coming from, it was like kind of confusing, you know, because like the rail was bone dry. So I wound up just driving it home, you know, let it kind of like evaporate, and then we got it to do it again, like right down the street, and that's when we realized it's spraying upward.
Got it.
So I looked online, and a bunch of people were saying they had that same issue. And the injector seals from them are slightly larger. So luckily my buddy had a set, which is like crazy.
And I took care of it.
So I took care of that, but I'm still losing fuel pressure. Yeah, the car's going lean at like over $6,000. I've never had a fuel issue with this car. You know, a Hellcat pump, dash 6 lines, you know, like a 38, maybe like a 42-pound injector. I forget what it is.
And the fuel pressure itself is dropping?
Fuel pressure itself is dropping. I'm losing like 14 pounds, like above like 6,500 RPM, 6,000. It pulls good though.
I'd like to say, yeah, you're making that much more power and got that much more airflow.
No.
I mean,
I went from a 5.7 to a 6.0. You know, a little higher compression. I went from like 10.7 to 1 to like 11.4, maybe 11.5. You know, so it's not that big of a difference, but that should make somewhat of a difference.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it is definitely more airflow.
Yeah,
increasing that VE.
You know, I need to redo my intake, make a bigger intake.
Bro, let me see it.
Let's go down with the car. Head gains heads with the pocket port or whatever. CNC port, I'm sorry, I'm confusing it with that head. CNC port. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, the other heads I had were hand ported, but they weren't not even close to what these are, you know? And I went slightly bigger with the cam this time. You know, I don't like them like ridiculous cams. I mean, they sound great, but like I like to like drive this car. I like to lug this car at 6th gear at 80 miles an hour.
Bro.
Fucking do a pull to like 150.
Hell yeah. Street car, like legit street car madness.
Power steering, it has heat. I'm hopefully adding AC. I have most of the parts. I found this Australian company that makes like a really tiny kit that goes down there. But just basic shit. OEM coils, poly, you know,
wow, bro,
a lot of OEM parts on this car.
This shit came out really nice.
It's not bad. It can use some improvement. This is only 3.5 inch. It needs to be bigger.
This is giving me like Corvette vibes.
It's a Japanese Corvette. The
exactly.
side profile of this car is identical to a C5.
It's nice.
This car's out. Don't film that side.
Stop it. Get some help.
The other side. Yeah, you can check out the inside. T56 Magnum or Tremec Magnum. I had a T56 in it, and right at the end of the season when I ran a 10.5, it was shifting like shit. I had to like shift to 4th with 2 hands, and it was pretty terrible. But I got through it, and then it turns out I was like, let's just swap. You know, this trans is no good. Let's just swap the Magnum in because I already had a Magnum. We go to take it apart. I realized that my shifter was loose on the T56, which had some slop, which would make it hard to shift. But also the trans mount underneath, there's like 4 bolts for the RX7 deal, and then the mount that you get with this kit adds 2 more bolts. They weren't in it when I got the car, and I never like really thought about adding them. It ripped them both like basically off the car. The one was like all the pinch welds or spot welds, the factory Mazda ones, were off on the one side. It was like one holding. It was like drooped. And the whole motor and trans was like this slightly, you know? I realized once I seen it, but those are my shifting issues.
This was just recently.
This was like last year.
No, I'm talking about the one when you put it back together just now.
No. So I fixed that, put the Magnum in. This was still with the 5.7, and then blew it up, floated that valve like maybe 5 days into having the Magnum in it. So I never really got time with the Magnum, you know. And right now, honestly,
from the last drive you had, felt good.
Yeah, exactly. It feels really good. You know, the Magnum's a brute. I don't know. People say they need to break in. Like I'm having trouble hitting second, but I'm also having that fuel issue, so I haven't really
it's hard.
the beans. You know,
tough to really see.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nice to see it though, man. It looks nice.
Yeah, no,
it's been covered up for so long.
Yeah, I can start it up, but it's pretty late and it echoes back here pretty loud.
Yo, it's nice. So this is the head.
This is the head.
This is what we came for. Look at this.
This is what we came. So the other head was just more or less a stock Gen 4. I thought it had S2 cams in it, but it turned out it had, you know, cast S1s.
Bro, I still got that video, you know.
Yeah.
Look at this shit.
Jesus Christ.
Well, apparently that's a thing. Like people have legitimately broken camshafts.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is it. Pocket port, a little bit of a deck, a mill deck, whatever you want to call it. New buckets, GSC springs, GSC S2 cams. What else? Ferrea valves. What else? He did the insert. Yeah, he did the insert.
So basically these inserts.
The Hux inserts for the 3S.
Because anytime you use like ARP washers or steel ones, they tend to like bury themselves in the head and displace it a bit, and the bolts lose torque. So that got done. This is actually exactly the same head that I have on my car.
You have the race port though.
No.
Oh, you have this.
I used to in the race port, but that one washed out the journals.
Hell yeah.
Ferrera goodness.
Yes, sir. The valves are so
Nice.
little compared to the LS. See, this is
Nice.
Now we're getting off topic, but LS rod.
Yeah, we need 4 of those for this.
And then look.
All right, so we got to make this marry that and that. So it's like a little 3-way or something. Yeah. There you go. Which one's the strong one?
The newer looking one.
It better be. It's funny, bro. It's the little things, just stuff that's like hidden. It's so expensive and you can't even see. But like, dope upgrade.
Jesus.
Huge difference. So yeah, think about it. The springs that came with this, right, from 91 or whatever, they were so soft you could literally compress them.
Yeah, no, they're right
With
here.
your
They're
fingertips.
very soft.
Super soft. Especially this one. I think this is the one for fifth and reverse. This is one that for me, every single time I would go from second to third, the spring would compress too much and it would go straight over into fifth in reverse, basically, but straight to fifth instead of into third. That's what caused me to miss so many gears and like fuck up my dog box. Yeah.
So we don't need any of this shit.
Nope.
Well, we still need this short one now.
Keep them though.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep everything.
Springs or whatever you don't really need, but. All right. Look how smooth that one versus how shit came out. He's good. I'm gonna get all of this back in there. And for those who don't know, this is basically like almost a carbon copy of my motor too. Just no aluminum rods. So pretty stout, pretty damn stout. All right. Chambers look great. %68%. right, all torqued. Now it's time for some cams. Get that lubed up and in. You can share some space with your big brother over here. Wait. Whoops, I mean this big brother.
This is going on the cans or on the buckets?
Both.
Do the buckets first.
Both. So we pull out the buckets. We'll lube the sides of the buckets.
And the inside or not on the inside?
No, just the side. So we rub it all over the side and the top. And the same on the cam. So what do you think, bro? You think you're gonna break these in half?
I hope not.
Oh man, I'm still thinking that's probably one of the crazier things that I've ever seen. Look at this. Good goodness. Nice. Very nice. But I remember when I first unboxed these, I was like, this is too nice to just be covering up. This is a gem.
Broke off and the snout broke off.
Bro, we've got to show this. Look at this. Jesus Christ.
The pin broke. And then the other one just broke completely in half.
Replacement.
And this one's in two pieces.
Jesus.
But also that tapered like snout totally broke off of this one. It's hard to see, but
Bro, this is not ideal. Nice. Exhaust. Cams. Fancy. You think these are gonna come loose? So, all right, that's it. Cover on. That's hopefully the last time this will be seen for a while.
fucking
What do you think?
amen. I don't want to look inside of this fucking thing ever again.
All right. $10 millimeter. You think that's the most popular bolt in the world?
Most likely.
What's the most popular American size bolt?
I literally don't even like.
Like when working on something like this, what's the most popular size?
When
in
I
like
find
American
something that needs American threads,
Uh-huh.
I throw it out and buy something that has metric.
What?
I'm kidding. No, I literally have like.
It's not
even
like
on this
quarter
thing,
inch?
it's almost all metric.
Oh, really?
Almost everything's metric on this car. Very few things are standard.
That almost doesn't make sense.
GM that didn't use standard at that time. That was
Oh,
like
they still used metric.
Yeah.
So what about the new ones, the new stuff?
all new stuff's metric too.
Wow. So it's
And
10s, 12s,
across.
14s.
That's across. I mean, I could be wrong, but it's across every Ford and GM
M6, M8s, M10s for everything.
for everything. Yeah.
But what is it like 1 point? All right, so this is probably where they change. Is it like 1.25, 1.5?
This car has a lot of 1.5 thread.
That's
really
right.
coarse thread.
Coarse thread.
Yeah, really.
So
coarse
they won't
thread.
use fine thread, but they'll use coarse. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right.
And stop calling your ex. She doesn't want to hear from you anymore.
The listening you love is on the...
Look at the time. That was successful. But now it's time for the real challenge. It's Friday. It's race day today. So we're gonna get a couple of minutes of shut eye. We're gonna get up. Gotta go get my car ready. Did a boost leak test last night and uncovered a couple of small leaks. So I gotta see if I can run to McMaster Car, which happens to kind of be on the way to the track, and grab some new seals for the clamps that I run.